This is the Steele Report.
This week on the Steele Report, the new campaign ongoing right now for the Cedar Valley United Way, and also the charitable efforts of the Main Street Social Club continue to pay off. Our program begins right now.
Now from KWWL, this is the Steele Report.
Well, right now on the Steele Report for this week, I want to welcome the co-chairs for the current campaign, which is underway right now for the Cedar Valley United Way. So let me introduce this year's co-chairs. They have their work cut out for them. They are going to do the best job they possibly can because you are going to respond. So Angela Weekly is the first co-chair I want to introduce right now. Angela is the manager of community inclusion for locally here at Veridian Credit Union, Iowa's largest credit union. She's a Woodbury College graduate. And Angela is really working to build strong relationships and provide equity for everyone when it comes to opportunities here locally, particularly helping underserved residents. But right now, she is the co-chair for the Cedar Valley United Way. Also a familiar face here in the Cedar Valley, Steve Carignan is the Associate Dean and Instructor in Arts Administration at UNI, but of course, 14 years now, he has been the Executive Director of the Gallagher Bluedorn Performing Arts Center on the UNI campus. He also serves as Associate Dean for Outreach and Special Programs at UNI. So you've undertaken, I've done this before, so I know what you're going through, and just those John Deere meetings alone are pretty tasking, but this is for the greatest cause you can think of locally, isn't it? And Angela, why don't we start with you? What's your first impressions of being the co-chair and how the community is responding to the campaign this year?
Well, I'm super excited and honored to be able to represent the Cedar Valley community and to watch how people give back to the communities that they live in, as well as make sure that our most needy citizens are able to be a part of the greater Cedar Valley.
Steve, how about you? Expand on that.
I just think it's been a great opportunity. I've loved, we talk about how many times you have to lead presentations and things like that. But what I've really loved is actually getting to spend time with people and seeing the generosity that happens from everybody. Sometimes it's the people you least expect, sometimes it's the people you most expect. But I've just been really struck by how generous and caring so many different people are in the Cedar Valley.
We also want to mention Gary and Becky Birch. They did a fantastic job as your predecessors. They set an all-time record for the Cedar Valley United Way, well over $3 million. And it's just very important because the need is so great. In fact, the amount of money raised, we always say, what's the goal? Well, the goal is to meet the need. Right. And that's actually over $4 million. So there's a big gap in there that's not being served, even if you set a record every year. So when you think about that, and I know this, I learned a great deal about our community, and I had lived here at the time almost 40 years when I did mine. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I can tell you that one of the things Steve and I talked about as co-chairs is if we can engage as many people as possible in this giving process and understanding our community and giving back to our community, that the dollars will follow. So our goal is to get as many people. I mean, we want to have record numbers of giving as far as individuals, not just dollars.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. You earn this money $1 at a time, and you donate it $1 at a time. And I've been struck as I've learned and visited with the partner groups that we work with and the United Way funds. I've learned how valuable even a single dollar or $5 over the course of a year can be in changing a life. In the right program and with the right focus, you can really make a difference with even a modest gift.
Let's talk about how the process works. I mean, every bit of the money goes to a nonprofit here locally, but that nonprofit may have gotten money this year, but that doesn't necessarily they're going to get the money next year. Because why don't you explain that process a little bit, Steve? How do you determine who really deserves the money in the current campaign?
So there are three different priorities: education, health, and financial independence. And each of those focus group areas has an impact group of volunteers and staff that evaluate all proposals that track those areas, and then they actually work with those partner groups to make sure they're successful in reaching their goals. And it doesn't happen very often, but I always tend to think of investment when I think about giving or charitable giving. You want to see that it has the impact you want it to have. And one of the things I love about the United Way is that every dollar you spend gets spent the way you intend it to be spent, and there are people making sure that that happens.
Absolutely. So the mission of the Cedar Valley United Way is pretty. I'm just reading it right here off the sheet here. Leveraging resources to help people change lives and make your community investment count throughout the Cedar Valley. So here's the thing, if you donate $1, you are not wasting that dollar. I mean, like you said, Steve, you do it $1 at a time. Obviously, John Deere is the big component, the major component, but every dollar, every business, every individual counts.
Yeah, some people start off right when they start off working. And so they might be making $10 or $12 an hour, and just $1 a paycheck or $5 a paycheck, it starts a lifetime habit. Some of our favorite givers, and we run into them while we're out doing this work, are people that had started giving when they were very young and just have upped it a little bit at a time, and it's just become part of their life and part of how they define themselves and how they impact the world.
Yeah, and payroll deduction makes that so easy, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those early givers because at the age of 15, I started working at Hardee's on Franklin Street, and shameless plug, I guess.
Well, it's right down. It's still in business, so
right?
you must have
still
done
in business,
well.
right down the street. And I started, and they gave me a payroll deduct form, and they were like, "You can give to the Cedar Valley United Way." And I was like, "Well," at the time, I was making a minimum wage. I mean, I'm 15, and $1 a pay period, I was able to give, knowing that the Cedar Valley United Way has impacted like families like mine, where I would one day be able to be at a leadership giving component. From $1 to a leadership giving is where I started at 15.
Yeah, I think the payroll deduction just makes it so easily, and you will not miss that one bit. That's the thing.
It takes the sting out of what can amount to a pretty significant gift. And like you said, it does not hurt because it goes away $5 or $10 at a time, and you don't even, that's latte money or pizza.
Or the pot machine.
Or the pot machine. All probably bad ideas anyway, compared to giving to the United Way.
Well, they are in my lifestyle, my doctor says, that's for sure. So let's talk a little bit about what have you discovered in your visits to all these different organizations. You've gone to the John Deere meetings where you make the pitch to the John Deere workers who are really generous. I mean, they really are. They're fantastic. But then you also go to the nonprofits themselves and learn exactly what they're doing. And as I mentioned before, that's what struck me here. I'd lived in this community all these years, and I hadn't even heard of some of these great organizations. What surprised you the most, do you think?
I think what surprised me the most is so I grew up right around the corner from the Boys and Girls Club, and so I am very familiar with it. My family used that. That's where my sister and brother played basketball.
Rick Coleman, our sports director, used the club every day too, he says.
Yeah, so it's an awesome, really beats the streets. I think that used to be their theme. But when we were doing, I got to speak as part of their campaign, and to know that the workers there that are like college students or high school students, to see their face and knowing that they make an impact to the students that they work with every day, just to see their faces and the pride of that is just amazing. Again, giving back to the community where they live.
Angela was part of our interview process for when we did our hour-long special on racial disparity in Waterloo, and you alluded to me at Veridian Credit Union when we did the interview that this impact to you personally and your family, I don't know how deep you want to get into that, but what in your background has made you so compassionate and dedicated to giving back to others, do you think? What is it?
Well, I can tell you, I grew up in a single parent home. I'm the oldest of 5, so that meant I was a parent as well.
Right.
And to watch my siblings be able to be impacted by the village. I think, there's that old cliche of it takes a village to raise a child. My family was raised by this village that we call the Cedar Valley, through places like the United Way, who do things like the Boys and Girls Club or the Salvation Army or the food bank. We were impacted by a lot of those different places, and then now we can sit as leaders in our community. My brother works at John Deere. He's I don't know what he does.
Parts guy.
He buys parts, yeah. I'm not going to go in that hole again.
We'll get phone calls from John Deere, because that's pretty much what happened every time we talked about it.
Yeah, I was like, and my little sister works at the Waterloo schools, making a huge impact in the lives of the children that will one day be the leaders in our community. So,
Steve, is there something in your background that
no, I've been lucky, like many people are, and I think that's actually one of the challenges of the United Way. If you've never been unlucky, I did have challenging times in my life. When my wife and I were first married, we were really stuck. We had nothing, and if we hadn't had family members step up and sort of take care of us and give us a car, an old beater Chevette, we wouldn't have been able to work, and we wouldn't have been able to make progress and end up where we are. And I think that's one of the great things about the United Way and a lot of the programs. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. It just gives you the wherewithal to make that next step on your own. And once you get that momentum going, you can make yourself more successful. But oftentimes, through bad luck, through illness, through a broken down car, we can hit a bump in the road that we can't recover from on our own. And a small investment can get us back to productivity and a strong family. And it can take someone from not being able to work to working alongside us.
Yeah, just giving someone the opportunity is really what it's all about in many cases. They'll take it from there.
Well, and recognizing our own luck. I mean, that's what it is. Oftentimes, there's an enormous amount of luck in our lives, and we need to embrace that and recognize that we have to. It's our duty. It's our duty as human beings to take care of other people.
All right, we're going to take a short break here on the Steel Report as we talk about this year's Cedar Valley United Way campaign, and we're going to also remind you we're online on KWWL.com. All our shows are actually online, so check them out. We'll be right back in just a moment. And welcome back to this week's edition of the Steel Report, talking about the Cedar Valley United Way campaign, which is currently underway. One thing we need to mention is, when does the campaign end? So how long yet do people have to make a donation or make a pledge?
It doesn't really actually end until springtime. So there's plenty of time to make that decision. We do know, however, if you do it while you're thinking about it, and the holidays are a great reminder to think about it, that you're more likely to follow through, because it'll just get out of your mind. There are so many things in our lives that it's easy to get stuff pushed aside. So what I'd recommend is that everybody who hears this broadcast takes a minute, goes online, and makes a quick pledge.
Yeah, or do that at work. I mean, I know you
absolutely.
came, the day you guys came to KWWL, I was on assignment somewhere, I know, but we have a great campaign here. We're trying to get, we haven't reached it yet, but we're trying to reach 100% participation.
My understanding is if they hit their goal, Ron, you volunteered to get a pie in the face?
Oh, did
is that what I heard?
Well, I would actually
You weren't there, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone else say it.
I do hear clapping in the background.
Mark Stackenberg is clapping, so he must know something about that. I'd be more than happy.
And maybe Mark would too. I don't know. I forget what they said exactly.
But you know, it's very important for people to think about it, do the payroll deduction, go on the Cedar Valley United Way website, make a pledge there, because you are enhancing your community, and you never know, seriously, when you may be in a situation where you actually need the help yourself. And to be in a position to help someone is remarkable. To be on the other side where you need the help, that's remarkable too, and has a tremendous impact on somebody's life. Here's a statistic I wanted to throw out. The teen birth rate in Black Hawk County has actually gone down in recent years, down 31%. So that's just one area where United Way is helping to contribute to that successful, progressive, slow but sure towards success.
Well, education and childcare are two very high priorities, and so there's a lot of the more progressive programs to help lift kids up, increase literacy, provide very much protection for kids that have been harmed or in tough domestic situations. Some of those key programs were originally funded by the United Way, and they've continued to expand and continue to be funded. So children are close. If they're close to your heart, you need to know that they're close to the United Way's heart as well.
So I have here in my hand a list of just some of the local nonprofits that are being helped by United Way. I mean, it would take me forever to go through these, but Job Foundation, Lutheran Services in Iowa, Jesse Cosby Center, Iowa Legal Aid, Hawkeye Community College, IJAG, Boys and Girls Club, of course. These are just a partial list of the almost 40 or more local agencies that are being helped. You mentioned that you were surprised, or you had a favorite part of this campaign so far. What is that?
So my favorite part of the campaign so far is absolutely, I don't know that Steve and I would have been able to have an opportunity to cross paths if we weren't chairs together, and you really get a chance to know somebody that's living right here in your community. And he's an amazing person that is not just the face of like the Gallagher Blue Dorn. He's much deeper than just that. And the way that he cares about this community that he's implanted in gives me greater pride for the community that I grew up in.
Well, and I have to tell you, and I've said this whenever I do a presentation on my own, Angela is one of my heroes. She has lived the life that makes me think giving to the United Way is a good investment. And she's carried that responsibility of the help people gave her, and has set an example for our community. I mean, it's just truly every day I'm inspired.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I really am proud of what you're doing, because it's tough work. You're getting out there and making all the presentations, but it's really worth it, because you learn so much about your community. Like in my case, I was just flabbergasted at all the things I did not know that I should have known. You're finding that same thing in certain respects, I suppose, too. Yeah.
Well, and the people doing that work. There are people all over our community that just have a calling. They could be making lots more. They could be doing doing other things, and they have chosen to put the community first and serve populations of people that really need it. I mean, it's just, again, inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this list, I'm just blown away by it. You know, you got Allen Hospital, American Red Cross, of course, they do such great work. Family and Children's Council, Amanda, my friend over there, running that, and just so many others locally that are in need. Sure, they have their own fundraisers and things like that, but it's not enough. I mean, and to be deeply involved in something, as you are personally in this, has it changed your life at all, do you think, or your viewpoint of the community?
Well, it has inspired me to give more to the United Way personally. One of the things is that when you name off that list, one of the things that I get to do at Veridian is partner with a lot of those organizations. Veridian being a nonprofit as well, one of the things we partner with a lot of nonprofits, and I always want to give to all of them. and I mean, Veridian pays me very well, but not enough to give to every organization. But when I give to the Cedar Valley United Way, I'm giving to all the organizations that matter to me, because they are taking the time to figure out what our greatest needs in our community are, and then partnering with nonprofits that are doing the great work.
Some of the other organizations, Pathways, Behavioral Services, the Big Brothers Big Sisters, and one of my favorites, the Boys and Girls Clubs, we've mentioned a couple of times already. You have an interesting story about when you visited there, Steve.
So the Boys and Girls Club, we have a great Boys and Girls Club. It's more than just keeping kids off the street.
Right.
It's really moved into a place that really tries to uplift the students that attend there. And so when you go to the Boys and Girls Club, you get tutoring, you get access to computers and technology, you get, of course, athletics and sports opportunities. And it's really a character building experience and an educational building experience. But when they ask the kids, and when I ask the kids, what makes them want to go to the Boys and Girls Club, what's the key thing to get them to go to Boys and Girls Club? It's not the computers, it's not the tutoring, it's dinner. And it's because some of those kids are amongst the 17% of kids in Blackhawk County who are food insecure. And if they don't get dinner, they might not go. And if they don't go, they don't get the tutoring. If they don't get the tutoring and athletics, they might not move forward. They might not continue on and perform better. One of the great things about that story is they got help. They got help in feeding those kids by working with another United Way partner, the Food Bank of Northeast Iowa.
Right.
And so putting those two teams together enabled those kids to be fed, and all the benefits the Boys and Girls Club bring are fed by that partnership.
Right. Angela, we would have had you tell that story, but I'm afraid you would start crying. Right?
I do. I was like, because it's the impact of that $1.
Yep.
Because with the $1, you get to feed one of those kids for 6 nights. $1 with that partnership
So that's a kid who keeps going to Boys and Girls Club. That's a kid who keeps getting the educational help. The kid who gets to be part of a team and belong to a community. Because of that $1, you get 6 meals, and that draws them in.
It's fantastic.
It's the power of a dollar.
The power of a dollar, it just compounds, and it's just fantastic. The campaign will continue on into early next year, so go online, Cedar Valley United Way, and easy search, you can find it, make a donation there. Go to your employer, say you'd like to do payroll deduction, and that's really the easiest way.
The easiest way to make
out.
the biggest impact.
Absolutely. So Angela Weekly, Steve Carrigan, co-chairs for this year's Cedar Valley United Way, doing a great job. Thank you very much for taking the time to come in. All right, we're going to be back here with more on the Steel Report in just a moment.